most important challenge we have is lack of self-confidence. The more I dig into these indices, the more I realize they're actually quite simple to do. Most of them are utter rubbish also. But these professors and students in all these other institutions have the courage to do it. They just go out there and map the rest of the world. So what astounded me is that 20, 30 postgrads were sitting together in a room reading newspapers around the world and were ranking the whole world. You can also do it, preferably after several beers. I mean, when I made this paper, this working paper I wrote on and I deconstructed 3 of those indices. One was by VDEM, one by EIU, and one by Freedom House. What is shocking is that the response that came to it from VDEM, the director of VDEM, was most funny. You should read that interview. VDEM's director's response was, not a single of my criticism has he answered. What he has said, no, our system must be right because we use supercomputers and high math. As if I was therefore supposed to be, oh my God, he's used high math. You got to be kidding. These are all perceptions. These are opinions of people. They just sat down one day and a bunch of people just did it. And they don't even tell you who these experts are because they say, oh my God, they'll get influenced with it. Nothing. There are people like you only. So you also do it. Go look at the rest of the world and rank them. The biggest problem we have in India is that we used to have this problem in technology. We used to have this problem in the sciences. Now we have broken out of this. We have finally begun to build our own in the defense field. You know, there's nothing great about Russian technology, as we have just discovered in Ukraine. We can build, our stuff is just as good, but why weren't we doing it? We just didn't have the self-confidence. So, in all these areas, we finally have the self-confidence to begin doing this. Unfortunately, this is still not spread to the humanities and the social sciences. And I'm just telling you, go and look it up. You'll be shocked. You'll be literally shocked with how poor quality work is done even by Nobel laureates. Just have the courage of going and doing it. I'm not saying you shouldn't do the hard work, but have the self-confidence to go and take them on. And you'll be amazed how poor their advice is, as we saw during COVID. You'll be amazed how shallow their research is. You'll just be shocked. It will require no more than a few weekends of you to just penetrate through their research. I'll give you one example. You know this global hunger index, a lot of things going around. So article is going to come out just in a week's time. So let me tell you about it. One of the things they use there is stunting. Yeah, children aged 0 to 5 being stunted. Okay, fine. So why is Indian children stunted? Because they are not growing as fast as some global standard. So I dug into where did the global standard come from. So it turns out some 20 years ago they had done a survey, one survey of just a few thousand kids in 5 countries, which includes Norway, Cameroon, Brazil, US, India and Oman. Okay. In that survey, India was done and they had done children in South Delhi because presumably they are relatively affluent and therefore not stunted. So we are creating the benchmark. But even in that survey, Indians are shorter than the rest. And yet they just averaged them and just created the benchmark. So right up front, we were already in the benchmark, we are shorter. Right. Our non-stunted kids are also, by your own definition, already stunted. And then we are using this to benchmark ourselves. So of course, and they did not have in that index the shorter people in the world. So all those hundreds of millions of people living in Indonesia, living in China, East Asia, etc., all of them will be stunted by this. But of course, most of those countries know this, so they created their own index and carried on. Even India, the Pediatrics Association or whatever has its own chart. It does not use the WHO growth chart. Okay. So why are we using it? The economists, however, are very happy to use it. Why? Just don't have the self-confidence to look in and have a look at this. This is not to suggest that stunting is not a serious issue. A disproportionate number of kids in India are stunted. But the number goes down from something like 37% or something like that to 24% once you use the correct measure. Much, much lower and falling fast. So, why is it? This is something that, as I said, 2 weeks of digging in showed me this. So why didn't we do it? Because we don't seem to have the self-confidence to go and just do this basic digging.